So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the tyrant's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place.
In the tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Moon of infinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our spirit sends.
Hey guys, welcome in, welcome in. I am trying something new tonight with my microphone. So let me know if you guys are having trouble hearing me at all. If it sounds normal, great. If not, let me know. Hey everyone, give me a second. Okay, I just listened. It sounds fine to me. It's a little muffled, but it won't be like this every single time. Just in times where I have to be working, like where I have to be more private or something, I'm gonna have the headset in. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. Like I said, it's not gonna be like this every single time, just right now. Um, and I listened to the playback. It's not ideal, but it's not horrible. You guys can still hear what I'm saying. So thank you guys for confirming that with me. Okay. I just wanted to make sure you'd still be able to hear the message. I didn't want it to be like annoying. Sweeter, sweeter. Oh my God, what's going on? Oh, thanks, girl. I appreciate it. All right, let's scroll to the beginning. Philomena, that's okay. Do you want to just leave your question with me tonight? Thank you guys for liking the live stream. I appreciate it. Oh, exciting news that I hope I'm right about. I should be able to go live on TikTok now. So you guys might see me over there sometimes. So definitely, if you're not following me already and you have a TikTok, just find me. It's Luna Affinity. I highly doubt anybody else has this name. I'm doing well. Thank you, Nat. Thank you for asking. Aesthetic, I'm glad you're here. Hey, Queen, welcome in. Sweeter, congratulations. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, I hope you're happy. Oh my god, are you serious? Hiding? Sweeter, oh my god, what the heck? I I need I need to get a like a review from you about this fertility specifically, only because, and you don't have to like put all your personal information, but just because um, or if you want, I can just screenshot what you said and just like cross your name out. But we're doing fertility readings and I'm working more in that direction, and I just would love to have like a confirmation on that. And a review to post about. But congratulations, I'm so happy for you. Yay! Philomena, that sounds great. Thank you, girl. Appreciate it. You'll be first on the list tonight, okay? Hey, Mature, welcome in. Thank you guys for liking the stream. Wow, okay, sweeter. Wow, that's crazy. Hey, SB, welcome in. Thanks, girl. Hey, Divine Timing. That sounds great, sweeter. Well, congratulations again. I'm so happy for you. I hope you're happy too. All right, Smiley. Ooh, this question. Let's see. Are you nervous because of everything that's been going on? I'm getting a yes, Smiley. I have the Ten of Pentacles. Nessa, yes. Page of Cups. Nat, yes. Seven of Wands. Amy, ooh, I have a no. The moon. Maybe it wasn't a visitation in like the normal sense. Because the moon has to do with dreams and things that happen at night. There might have been a symbolic message for you in the dream, Amy, that was important, but maybe it wasn't an actual visitation. Ray, I have a maybe leaning towards a yes, Two of Swords, and Six of Wands. It looks like I want to say yes, Ray, but I'm just not positive just yet. Sweeter, maybe. I have the Tower, so like, I don't know, this seems like a lot. The Tower and the Eight of Swords, but I asked for like double confirmation and I got the Eight of Wands. So like, what I'm hearing is he'll come around. I don't know if I get an answer for you for tomorrow. Queen, yes. King of Wands. Maya, I have a yes. Page of Cups. Lisa, yes. The High Priestess. Lisa, oh, I already answered you. Um, Kayla. This is a matter of free will, they're saying. Wheel of Fortune. I'm leaning towards a yes for you. Page of Pentacles. Diana. Yes. Strength. Sophie. Yes. The Magician. Divine Timing. Yes. The Sun. That sounds great, sweeter. Well, hopefully everything goes well. You're very welcome. You're welcome, Matt. You're welcome, Ray. I'm still working through questions, April, so just hold tight for me, okay? I have your questions saved. You're welcome, everyone. I have questions saved right now. I have Ocean, April, Mature, Aesthetic, and Brian, and that's all I have on my list. Remember, I don't always do things in order. I literally click through the chat and save your questions and put it in a separate file. I try to stay in order if I can, and if I miss you, most likely your question is saved with me and I'll get to you at some point. If I finish the list entirely and I say, okay, that's it, we're moving on to donations, and your question wasn't answered, then you can be like, hey, and like let me know. But remember, free questions aren't always guaranteed either, but I do my best. So just sit tight. All right, Ocean Summer. Yes, King of Wands. April. Yes, Queen of Wands. Oh, hold on to that. Mature. No, Ten of Wands. Aesthetic. Yes, Judgment. Brian Oliver. Yes, the Sun. All right, so that is it for the free list up until this point. If I skipped over you, let me know. Um, if you put your question after I put free list closed, then unfortunately you missed your opportunity. You're welcome, everyone. Amy, that sounds good. Well, sleep tight. Good night. All right, let me update the donation list really quickly so everyone knows where they are. If you see pre-order next to your name, it just means that I got your donation before the live reading started and that no one can skip ahead of you. Aesthetic, I just answered it like a minute or two ago and I got a yes. I think it was the Judgment card. Nessa, try scrolling back to the very beginning because I think yours was answered at the beginning. Let me double check. Did I skip you? Let me see. Vanessa, I got your answer. It was about 8 minutes into the live stream, roughly. So check back, scroll back, I mean. All right, so Amina, you're first. Go ahead and drop your question, please. Aesthetic, that's funny. You're fine, don't worry. All right, Philomena. We're about to get started on Philomena. All right, what's coming next for your love life? We You're welcome, Divine. Philomena, are you already involved with someone? I have a King of Cups here for you. It's like a person that comes in during like almost like a transitional time. So it's making me feel like um almost like either you decided to take a break from dating and then this person comes in, or you're kind of moving forward into an energy of meeting someone. We also have the Three of Wands. This talks about you having a lot of self-confidence, becoming more confident, or having more self-esteem, experiencing life. The Three of Wands talks about just really paying attention to what's in front of you rather than focusing too much on past connections that didn't work out. So this feels like someone new, and it feels like it's coming during a time where you're kind of maybe putting dating on hold, or maybe you just figured out your self-worth. And so when this person comes in, you're really ready to see them and experience that with them. Let me get a timing. Hold on. We have Four of Cups. That's about 4 months for my tarot and timing. So where are we? February, March, April, May, June. I'm thinking like around June is what it feels like. Four of Cups literally means Cancer season, so it can be like June, July. I feel like I recall picking up, now that I'm saying it out loud, something happening for you in over the summertime as well. So yeah, Philomena, I think you're kind of gearing up for this person to come in for you. Because like you said, you've been putting dating on hold. You're kind of in a place right now where you're like, I'm gonna take a break. Like, I know my worth, I know what I deserve. I'm not gonna accept less than that. And I'm not gonna like entertain something that isn't quite matching what I'm looking for. And like I said, this person's new and this person comes in like during that transitional time. And so feeling like you're coming into the energy of that and asking about the timing, it's this year. And I think you start working into that energy by the summertime where this person comes in for you. And I think that, like, almost like everything that you've been learning up until this point is to really just to solidify like what is going to work for you, what's not going to work for you. You probably were put through some recent tests as well. You're welcome, Nessa. Recent tests, like basically saying like, are you willing to settle? Like, we're going to give you some people and maybe they're not going to exactly match what you're looking for, but are you going to settle for them? And you were like, no, I'm not going to settle. And the universe was like, okay, got it. We'll send someone else even better. And so I feel like this has been kind of like a veto energy for you lately, where it's like people are coming in and you're vetoing and saying, no, moving on, no, moving on. And so I think that's why this person comes in for you in the next couple of months, because I think this person is very mature and they're extremely generous and they're the type of person that just really wants to make sure that you're happy and that you can share with them and open up, be maybe more in your emotional availability with this person, because I think that you maybe are usually pretty guarded at first when you meet someone, but I feel like this person kind of makes you feel very comfortable right away. I think this is someone that maybe you don't necessarily think you can trust, but that's with your brain, with your intuition. You feel like in your heart you can trust them. It's just your ego is like making it a little bit harder for you to do that. But I feel like this person breaks down your walls pretty quickly. That's a little scary for you, but I feel like there's something innately in you that makes you feel like you can trust them with your heart. And so you do, because the way this person comes across is very empathic or empathetic and compassionate and um, calm. And there's just like this kindness about this person. And you see through maybe a lot of the things that they do for you, the gestures that they show, that they care for you and are interested in you. And so I feel like something kind of gets pretty serious pretty fast by, I would say, the fall time of this year. And I think in the meantime, just continuing do what you've been doing, stay on this path, because if you like what you hear, like it's in front of you, try not to change your tune too much, because you could shift this energy if you decide to entertain something that's not quite right for you. So continue down this path of not wasting your time on things if you don't feel like they're really what you're looking for. And I feel like you're just going to be clearing away. It's almost like you're walking like on a path and there's all this like trees and debris and branches in the way, and each branch that's in your way is like a person that you could be a possible love interest, and it's not quite right, it's not what you're looking for. And so you just clear the branches, and every time you clear the branches you're clearing the path, and your person's there at the end of it. So it's just like every time you like stick with your boundaries and you stick with your convictions and your morals and your beliefs about what it is you're looking for, you just get closer and closer to it. So that's what it feels like to me. But let me know if you have any questions about this. It looks like I got another donation that recently came in for Pisces, so Pisces will add you to the list. I'm getting hungry all of a sudden. This always happens to me when I do readings. I don't know why. I need to get like a protein bar or something. Smiley, once we're done with Philomena, I'll be right with you. I got your question, so just sit tight. All right, Philomena, thank you. I got your add-on. Let's go ahead and shuffle real quick and see what we've got here for you. You're welcome, Pisces. Hmm. There's mixed energies here, Philomena. I'm not sure if it's how you think you're doing at your job versus maybe what the job is providing for you. Um, or maybe you're concerned by how you're performing. Overall, it feels really good, but there are a couple cards here that make me a little confused. Maybe you can help me connect the dots. But I have the Five of Swords, so it's like I don't know if there's some type of competitive feeling that you have at work where you feel like either you want to put your best foot forward and be the best, or if you feel like someone's in competition with you and you feel like you're having to constantly compare yourself to other people versus like how you're focusing on your own individual performance. The hangman is in reverse and it talks about like stagnation or like discontentment, maybe not feeling fully satisfied in some part of the job itself, whether that's how you are performing or that's the job is giving to you. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a bad feeling that I get when I see this. It's just a little bit feels a little off. It feels a little out of alignment, and um, it's a little confusing. You're a very strict officer at work, and some of the officers don't like that. Okay, so you're trying to play it by the book. You are saying, like, I take this seriously, this is important to me, I'm going to be strict, and it's like other people are not so accepting of that aspect of yourself. So I do see where I said that competitiveness or maybe some type of tension or conflict can happen. So I feel like what Spirit wants you to know is not to pay too much mind to the other people. You're there, you're doing your job, you're doing what you're supposed to do. If you're being very by the book and they're not, that's their problem because you're doing the job that you were hired to do. I understand wanting to be compatible with the people you're working with, collaborative. I understand not wanting to rock the boat and just making sure that you feel um, like accepted in your style of performing your job. But I also feel like as long as you know you're not doing anything wrong, and you're doing things the right way, I think that this is the issue for them and not you. And it's neither our desire nor is it our job to convince someone to like us or like how we do things. You like it if you like it, if you don't, you don't, and it is what it is. You're not creating problems, you're not doing something underhanded or wrong. you're doing it right, and that's something they just have to deal with and accept. It's just some people just sit around and let people walk all over them. Yeah, I got you. You're more of a leader. You're more of like you make decisions for yourself. You don't make decisions for other people, and I get that. Um, I kind of feel like you're coming through as the Empress, you're coming through as the Fool, and this talks about kind of facing, needing to kind of become your own or being your own individual and not worrying about what everyone else thinks, that you're here to do what you're here to do. And you shouldn't worry about anyone else. You shouldn't care about any baggage, any drama, any leftover anything or residual anything. You should just be like facing forward and moving on. The thing about the Fool is though is that even though they're supposed to be looking forward, sometimes they look back, sometimes they look over their shoulder. So you could feel like other people have some kind of issue with you or some kind of problem with you, and you want to act like you don't care, but deep down it does kind of bother you that things aren't working very smoothly in that situation, and maybe you're getting a lot of flack for this, and you're just noticing maybe they could be like secluding you or making you feel like you're the odd man out. Um, and maybe that could make for a very uncomfortable shift for you. But I feel like overall, as far as like how you're doing there, I think that you are doing your job if you're doing it well. And I think that that's proven by the fact that you're still there. Um, I do think that there's going to be other people that come in after you that are going to have respect for your work ethic. And I think that these are just the current people that are there now. But there will be others that come in after you and they will be accepting of the way that you conduct yourself. Because I have the Three of Pentacles and it's like collaboration. You could care less about what other people think. I mean, that's definitely a good attitude to have. Like, you want to be considerate of other people, but you don't necessarily want to, like, let it consume you that other people have an issue or take issue with certain things about yourself. That's definitely a good thing, but at least it's something that you're noticing because it's something that you mentioned tonight. So it's like, even if it's not bothering you, it's still something that you're taking notice of. And I don't know, maybe you can speak for yourself on this, but maybe you would prefer if it wasn't like this. Maybe you would prefer if it was more respect that you're receiving from these people rather than like a disdain for how you're performing at your job. You probably would prefer it to just be smoother. Maybe you're like, either way, I don't care, but my preference would be that this wouldn't be a problem because nobody wants confrontation or issues or tension. I'm also getting the message that you kind of have some people that are either younger than you at this job or more mature than you that are working in this position because the Fool and the Sun is here, and that just kind of indicates that we're working with juveniles, like we're working with people around us that are younger than us or more mature, and you're holding yourself to a certain standard that other people are not holding themselves to. You said you tell them. Oh wait, it's just when you don't see the same rules, you look like the bad guy because you set the rules, right? You tell them you're not here to be friends with inmates, do your job and go home. Oh, good, 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 good. You don't know why. Oh, well, I mean, there's a lot of corruption that happens, so maybe they want to be liked. There could be benefits that they're receiving from being liked, or maybe they just don't want confrontation. They just want an easy shift and they don't want any problems. And so they're just the path of least resistance. You know what I mean? But I think you're doing a good job and I think you just have to keep being you. Like, don't change how you're doing things. It's clearly working for you, you know? Does that complete your reading, Philomena, or are you wanting to add on for the last time? Sometimes you don't feel like your supervisors like you. I think that your supervisors would prefer that you are showing that you can work well with others. Um, they're seeing you as a very independent energy. You have the King of Wands, very much like leadership. So it's almost like they're viewing you as stepping into a role of a superior in the current position that you're in because of how you're setting your own path and marching to the beat of your own drum. It doesn't look bad from them, from their perspective, because it's the King of Wands. So it's like a good thing. But the Three of Pentacles is also here, so it indicates that they would prefer to see you be a little bit more collaborative or like compatible with your peers. Um, Not like necessarily fraternizing with them, but just getting along with others is a good quality. And I think they would just like to see more of that. But again, like, it's not the end all be all situation. Like, you could just maybe promote a little bit quicker if, you continue down this path. Um, I kind of feel like maybe they're looking at promoting you actually at some point, keeping you in mind, but I think they want to make sure that you're not just like feared as management, if that makes sense. I think they want to make sure that if they were to promote you down the line, that you would be not just feared but revered, like someone who's well respected because of who they are, not just because of how they run things. But you probably have run a tight ship. So, I mean, there's definitely more positives about you stepping into a leadership role than negatives. Um, but really, the only thing I'm seeing is just like how you're working with other people. There's not the place to make friends. Right. No, no, we're not talking about making friends. We're just talking about being well respected and deeply admired for, your job. There's a difference between getting respect out of fear versus respect from admiration. Of Like, when someone wants to respect you because they admire you and they feel that you offer something valuable to the situation, that's a one way to get respect, and it's a positive way. You can also get respect by being strict and feared, but that's involuntary respect versus voluntary respect. And so I think that they're just kind of keeping an eye on things. And I think like, they're looking at you at potentially being promoted to a more supervisor position or like a higher up position. And they're watching you and how you are interacting with your peers. Okay. So if that's all, Philomena, you're not donating anything else, I'm going to move on to Smiley. Smiley, if you just want to check in again for me real quick. Hey girl, hey. There are people who are asked to bring drugs or stuff in for the inmates. You told them you've been there for almost a year. Not a single person has ever asked you about that. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier about corruption, because I had a feeling something like that was going on. So, I mean that's great. That's, honorable, and I don't think you should change that part of yourself. I think that's literally the point of being in the position that you are. Yeah, I got you. All right, so Smiley. Hmm. Six of Wands, Nine of Swords. Hmm. So Smiley, um, take this message if it resonates, but I think that this partner of yours or this ex of yours is a karmic. And what I mean is I feel like this person was supposed to teach you something, or you were supposed to teach them something, or vice versa. I don't think this is the connection that's like the final person for you. I wouldn't consider this person to be your life partner. Um, but I think that if you haven't learned what you needed to learn, then you let them back in, and you're just going to keep going round and round with this person until you figure it out. So this just basically means a karmic essentially means you learn from each other, and once you learn the lesson, then you get them out of your system and you move forward. And they suddenly no longer become appealing or attractive to you, and you wonder why you were ever interested in them in the first place. It's because your energy has changed, your vibration has changed, and you no longer resonate with the frequency that they're emitting. So if you feel like you're no longer attracted to this person, no longer desiring this person, they like disgust you basically, like you just can't even believe that you ever wanted to be with this person in the first place, then congratulations, because you've gotten to the point that you need to be at. If you feel like you're still wondering about them, still curious about them, um, because you still have feelings there, then you may still need to get this person out of your system. You still may need to explore this further to figure out what's going on there. Now, there's another option where you could still be thinking about them, that you don't want to get back together with them. You said, well, that's new. You don't want to get back together, but you want them to flatter you, flatter your ego. You like being chased by them. You like knowing that they want you, and that's probably because they weren't giving to you what you needed, and you like the feeling of this being balanced. And again, that's karma. So, you have a couple different like ways that this can go. You're completely over it, don't want anything to do with them. You still have feelings for them, still care about them, or you just want them to chase you so that you can feel better for a little while. And that however this plays out, I still would consider this karmic. And there's nothing wrong with any of these options. It's neither good nor bad. It's just a part of your journey. So I think what you can expect from this person is really up to you. And I would just suggest that if you give them another chance, know that the outcome really isn't going to change with this person. So you could maybe convince them to treat you better for a little while, but eventually you guys will end up in the same place. This is like a dead end basically. It's like you can drive down multiple roads, but you're still going to end up in the same place. So you have to figure out for yourself how much time you want to invest in this person, because the hanged man is here, and this also talks about like this isn't going anywhere, this is in limbo. It's crazy, Smiley. You want to know why? And I don't know if you get readings from other people, but our free will influences the outcome of these readings and the way that our relationship goes. And if he was there and ready for something significant and you were too, but then he didn't work towards that and he didn't utilize his free will to make that happen, I feel like spirit's going to come in and change that outcome for you because you're wanting something and he's not matching that vibration. So you guys clearly came into this connection feeling very open and very ready, maybe. And then now, because things have shut down, things are shifting and you guys are going in different directions. Um, I feel like the other part of this is whoever you're getting readings from, if it's me and or other people, your messages that are coming to you are for your highest good. They're for your best interest, and maybe you needed to believe that this person was marriage material because you needed to go through the experience of this person, and that was for your highest good. So spirit's very intelligent. They know that you're coming to getting readings, and if they're like, hey, this is a great relationship for you, you're going to invest in it. And they want that for you because they want you to experience something from this and take away from it. So spirit's never going to tell you anything that you shouldn't know or you don't want to hear or whatever. They're going to just tell you what you need to know in that moment for your highest good. And I remember a little bit, Smiley, feeling like that in the beginning. And I can only, talk about the energy that I was feeling. I felt like he was very open and I felt like he was very ready. And maybe there's something that has happened between the two of you, maybe actions that he took or didn't take, actions that you took or didn't take, conversations that were had, neglect, not nurturing the relationship. Your guys' free will definitely influence this. Every single time we make a decision about something, we alter our future. Every time we do something different, we alter the path that we're on. And that's why tarot readings are so good, because it's like if you like what you're hearing, keep going down that path. If you don't, use your free will to change that outcome. I could get a reading tonight. Well, I'm not going to use me as an example because I'm already married. Let's just do this. If you got a reading tonight and you said, am I going to get married tomorrow? Okay. Or am I going to get married in the next year? And you're like not planning on getting married. You're not planning on doing anything like that. You just want to know, am I getting married in the next year? And I say no. And then tomorrow you book a flight to Vegas. You meet someone on a whim and you choose to get married. That wasn't your plan the night before when you got your reading. You impulsively did that the next day and you completely changed your path because of that decision that you made. So that is kind of how tarot works. We have multiple timelines we can jump into and we have multiple paths ahead of us. And what we choose to do with that information will impact and influence whatever we end up doing. So it's like, what is the energy at the moment of the reading? And then how does that play out? And that can shift things. So yeah, I definitely remember like feeling his energy, being very open, really liking this person. And, I'd have to go back obviously to the readings to see if there's anything that I said that might have been like a sign or like a flat red flag or something, because I don't really remember exactly. But I felt like I really liked this energy for you. Maybe this is more, this type of person is what you need, but maybe it just wasn't the right fit or something. And I don't want you to keep going in circles. Like my job is not to sit here and give you false hope, at the same time. It's like I can only read into the energy that I'm experiencing at that time. But that is why I don't believe that we have fated matches either. Um, I believe that there's fated things that happen in our life because we need to go through lessons. And I feel like sometimes it's a fate that you meet someone, but I don't think that there's a such thing as a fated match for you. Like, so if I say that there's the energy of marriage here, doesn't necessarily mean this is the person you're going to get married to. It just means that that energy is available if you choose to take that opportunity, you know? He said, you learn your lesson, you definitely not with it. He decides to play games and put his full effort into being our connection. Yeah, now he's begging. I really don't get a joy out of him begging because at the end of the day, I feel like it's now genuine and gonna do the same. Oh, it's not genuine, gonna do the same thing. I definitely agree. With the Wheel of Fortune, it talks about being like like going around and around with someone. Like, you know that expression, I just feel like we're just going around and around. I don't feel like we're ever really getting anywhere. That's this connection right now. I think it was good though. I think the choices he made put us in a situation. There's nothing really wrong with him if he stopped playing and do the right thing. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. But that's what it feels like. And I feel like he's pretty tortured right now, I will say. I don't feel like he feels bad not being he feels bad being disconnected to you. He feels bad not having access to you. And I think that you can only feel but so bad though if you're not willing to change your actions. He would really have to come with like a completely different, like he'd have to come in with completely different actions and consistency. That's important in order for you to feel like this is really something. And the question is, do you want to open up your heart back up to this person or not? Or are you completely done with it and you just like want to move on? It's definitely something that you needed to experience with this person because we have the Wheel of Fortune, and this is all talking about like divine intervention, maybe, or something like that. I feel like almost spirit like sent you on a detour by being with this person. Like they were like, this road is blocked, take this detour, and then he showed up. I feel like it was almost like manipulated divinely, but I think that his issue is that he is not being consistent with you, and you need that. You need him to show up in certain ways that he's not showing up. And like you said, he utilized his own free will to ruin that part of the connection, to damage that part of the connection because he chose not to show up for you. Like you said, he's not a bad person. There's nothing necessarily wrong, but he's not making the right choices. When I say there's nothing wrong, I mean like there's nothing wrong with him as a person, but he's making the wrong decisions, you know? So as far as like how is this going to play out, I think it's truly up to you and what you allow and what you're going to tolerate. And I think that this is an exercise in understanding that the choices that we make are very important. It's like the butterfly effect. It's like the butterfly effect talks about how a flapping of a butterfly's wings can completely alter nature. It's like one small move, one decision that we make can completely change everything and change our whole entire future, our whole entire outcome. That's why the choices we make are so important. It's so important to make sure that what we're doing is what we want because we can completely change our whole entire path by one wrong move. And we need to be more intentional every single day. Hey, Fatima. So my free list is closed, but you're more than welcome to make a donation. He said he was very truthful. That's rare these days. So you were willing to work on that. He wasn't cheating. Even though we're at a distance, that's the part can work harder. Only way I'll take him back is if he come hard and stay consistent. Yeah, not just begging words because I really care. But I chose peace. Yeah, I definitely agree, Smiley. Um, and you know, that's your choice. And if that's what you decide to do, that's great. Like I said, there's no wrong choice. It's just we have to be very intentional with the choices we make because that does dictate how our future is going to play out. So if you feel like this person really deserves another chance, feel free. The problem with the Wheel of Fortune is that it kind of talks about going round and around with someone. And so he would really have to, I guess, you know how they say we stopped the cycle, like we broke the cycle? That's what he would need to do. He would need to break the cycle to change the energy of this reading. Because otherwise, you guys are just going to keep doing this over and over and over. And that's going to be extremely exhausting. You're welcome, Smiley. All right. Next up, we have SB. SB, if you're here, check in, please. Are you okay if I turn on the light? Okay. Hey, Emily. Oh, I see. I got your donation. All right, Emily. So what you donated for is just a yes/no answer, no elaboration. If you want a little bit more insight into this reading, then donate $3 more and make it a mini reading. But I will get to you in just a second. I'm going to add you to the list. We're going in order of donation. If you want to skip ahead, you can, but you would only move up one spot at this time, so that's up to you. Skips are $5. All right, so Smiley, have a great night. And SB, if you are here, check in with me, please. All right, I'm gonna turn off my headset really quickly and get back to my regular speaker.
Just $35 a month. We won't reach your rate on rock, paper, scissors, who's on dinner duty?
All right. I might come in a little clearer now. This is for SB.
If you want to see her fresh, high quality perfect every time, just tell them you want a hamburger. And they'll give you one right off the grill. Made for you, not waiting on you. No food required. Every one hamburger, every single time. Okay, so that's not really mean. When it's made fresh every time, got you ready.
Emily, I got you, girl. Thank you. We'll make it a mini, okay?
And they're not before.
Double check your wedding. What?
It's using up all of our sunset door.
Look at the
Chaos.
This is no longer fun. Oh wow, that's for Gareth and Wool, right? That's awesome. Super soft. Skin deserves it.
It is perhaps the most common trope of the Halloween season. A witch, dressed in all black, under the moonlit sky.
Oh my gosh. All right, so SB, you're welcome, Emily. This is kind of wild. I feel like he. Okay, well, first of all, we're going to start with the potential of the connection. That is will the relationship be successful? And I have the Two of Pentacles. This is still a maybe. I don't think anything is set in stone. I still think your energy is kind of up and down. This Two of Pentacles kind of talks about like you guys are never really in the same place at the same time. Like imagine like juggling a two balls or something, and like one's in the air, one's not, one's in I feel like that's kind of the idea. Like if there's a juggler and you can't really keep everything on the same page, it's the idea is that everything's everywhere all at once. So I kind of feel like that's what's going on here, is that it's like you guys have never really been able to like rest and get on the same page. And as far as the relationship success, it's like, is his head where your head is at? Once he changes his mind, will you change your mind? Once you're ready for this connection, will he also be ready? And I feel like there's just like that energy of being all over the place. The reason why it's a maybe is because even though it sounds like you guys have never really been on the same page, there is the potential. You guys do have the capacity to get on the same page, because the Two of Pentacles is also about balance. Imagine scales. If you can just find the right amount of weight to go on either side of the scale, you can balance that and you guys could eventually be on the same wavelength. It's just that you guys never really have been. And that's been really hard for your connection. And I feel like he really views you as like a soulmate. The Lovers is here, and so he's kind of like, this is this person for me. Like, I can't really let go of the idea that this is my friend, this is my lover, this is my soulmate. And I feel like his true intentions coming into this connection is to balance out the relationship. Temperance. This doesn't mean rushing into things. This means really taking your time, really seeing you in a different light, really like having self-discipline and self-control and consistency, and really giving to the connection, providing like peace and perspective and forgiveness. Accommodations is also here. So this talks about like compromise as well, and time healing all wounds. And
I feel like he's coming in with like maybe a little bit of a different mindset this time around. What you want, we have the Ace of Wands. So, you know, I think you're looking to just finally explore that connection that you feel with him, that passion that you feel with him. I think you're a little bit hesitant to open up. So because the Ace of Wands is here, this can talk about maybe it being more tempting to open up like a physical relationship rather than actually an emotional one. It's more tempting to do that just because I think that you can put your heart into this connection and sometimes you get burned, aka the wands, the fire. And so I think for you, you'd rather compartmentalize it and just say, hey, like, this is what I can offer you. Because I feel like a physical relationship isn't something that you feel like you've been able to reach the full potential of. And I think that there is a very intense attraction to him. And I think that it's almost like, do I just need to get this guy out of my system or what? What is it? Do I want something more with this guy? Like, what do I want? We have, for what he wants, we have the Hierophant. So I think, like, especially with the Temperance card, especially with the Hierophant, especially with the lovers, this is all very much like two halves to a whole. There's a lot of duality here with Temperance and Two of Pentacles and the lovers. If you think about it, it's two cups, it's two coins, it's two people. And the Hierophant also talks about like, let's get on the same page, because he feels like he has a sense of identity with you. He shares a sense of identity with you, and that he feels like you guys are really cut from the same cloth. This can talk about literal similarities in your backgrounds, your morals, beliefs, structures, traditions, cultures, so on and so forth. But it doesn't have to be so literal. It can just mean that he feels like you guys are so similar, so familiar, so woven into one another's life, even when you guys are not in communication or you're at a distance. And I feel like it's this like drive or this longing to kind of come together in a way that feels institutional, it feels established, it feels like serious, because the Hierophant's very, very serious. And you know what brings you together? We have the moon. It's always these underlying emotions, these feelings that you guys have for each other that you keep oppressed and pushed down and don't really talk about. It's the curiosity of, what do I mean to this person, that keeps you guys strong and keeps your connection going. Because it's like your curiosity about one another, it's like you allow your imagination to fill in the blanks, and that can be comforting at times, thinking about this person, thinking about each other. And I feel like wanting to know, are things as they seem? Is this all in my head? And I think it's just that mystery of it all that's really kind of keeping the connection going. What separates the connection is impulsivity, like being too hasty, being like not thinking through things, making decisions on the connection just based off of your feelings and how you just want to like just move along. So whether that's move towards this person, away from this person, it seems like a lot of the times it's like we're making quick decisions. He's maybe suddenly jumping out of your life for no apparent reason. Maybe you're doing the same to him sometimes. It's like we're rushing in. We're not really taking our time. We're not really thinking things through. And that is a weakness. And the good thing about this reading is that that's not the energy that he's coming with. He's coming with something completely different. The energy around the relationship is the Four of Wands. So this is taking things to the next level, seeing what can be, maybe setting foundations, things like that. And then we also have the Nine of Cups for what's hidden. And so I think you guys are each other's wish. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So that's what I've got for you for that. Let's do, let me see. You said you wanted messages from him. So let's keep going with that. Messages from him. It looks like I also got a donation from Culture. Culture, thank you for the donation. All right, let's do messages for you real quick, and then we'll move on to your last question. If anyone wants to add channeled messages to their reading, their channeled message cards, their first person messages from your person to you. And if that information is in the description, you can just add it on to the reading that you already have if you want to. It starts at $5 for 5 cards, $6 for 6, $7 for 7 cards, so on and so forth. And you can add as many cards onto it as you want. Sometimes you get extra messages, depending on how the cards fly out. And this is an add-on option. So you have to make sure that you donate for a regular reading and then add on for this. Do you see him? This is a rubber man right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the creeper. This is the cat that I have to deal with 24/7. I have to watch my every move. All right, SB, let's get some messages from you. Or for you, I mean. All right, so he says, we have chemistry. I have never felt a passion so intense. We have a soul contract. Blocking my emotions makes things easier. And I know that I'm decisive. And I know that my inability to make a decision hurts you. But this isn't in your head. I feel it too. And I have trouble fighting how I feel for you. I want to call you and hear your voice. I'm still hurting from what's happened between us, and I know that it's been complicated. I've always just been so confused about us. I'm overthinking everything I do and say, hoping not to say the wrong thing. We have a soul tie. I always feel connected to you. All right, SB, so those are your messages, and we're going to work on your last reading, your mini question that you have for the intentions of returning. Do you mind grabbing me a granola bar real quick, Riva? If there's a strawberry one, I like those. I'll take that one. And if not, then I'll do a cinnamon roll one. Thanks, babe. All right, so SB, we're working on your last reading that you donated for the intentions on returning. All right, SB. So I was shuffling, and as I'm laying your cards down, I'm waving the white flag. I feel like he comes in peace. I feel like he wants to be on friendly terms with you. I have the Three of Swords, and I said, what about the Three of Swords? And I have the Fool. And he's saying, I want to put the past in the past. I want to start over. I want to start new. I feel like he's coming with commitment, maybe. Or just like wanting to just like open this door back up and explore something more serious with you. The Four of Wands is showing up again. And that was the energy around the relationship. And now we're saying, why is he returning? And we have the Four of Wands. And I feel like it's serious. I really feel like it's serious because the Four of Wands is here. The first three cards, the Four of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Justice. This is like a very serious offer. So Four of Wands is like marriage. Justice is like law, contracts, licenses, aka marriage. Justice also is like getting married legally and through the court, potentially, with like getting married by the court or commissioner. And then the Ace of Pentacles a lot of times is like a gift, an offer, which is what you do when you propose to someone. So I want you to take all this information with a grain of salt. I don't want you to think that he's coming in saying, I'm proposing to you immediately. It's not like that. But it's the energy of coming with more of feeling serious or something. Like feeling like I really want to see where this goes. I want to finally reach our potential. Like that's the desire that I have. I have the Six of Swords as well. And this talks about wanting to make an easier life for you guys, where maybe the turbulent part of your connection can be finally over and you can move on to a more like serene, peaceful, and just relaxed place where you're not constantly on edge about one another. I think he wants to come in and bring a lot of positivity over your connection as well, because we have the sun. So lots of like warmth, things like that. So that is what I have for you, SB. Thank you so much for your donations tonight. I'm going to send you a message and say just finished. I think we started around 109. So hopefully you get that. Okay. Next up on the list, we have Pisces. Pisces, if you want to check in with me real quick. And let me update the donation list as well. Thank you, Pisces.
Known for pursuing your passions. No one wants to be known, but a treatment can be. Keytruda is known to treat cancer. FDA approved for 18 types of cancer, including certain early stage and advanced cancers. One of those cancers is early stage non-small cell lung cancer. Keytruda may be used with certain chemotherapies before surgery when you have early stage lung cancer, which can be removed by surgery, and then continued alone after surgery to help prevent your lung cancer from coming back.
Keytruda can cause your immune system to attack healthy parts of the
Hey, Bobo. All right, Pisces, thank you. Donations are still open, friends, if you guys want to donate. We only have a couple more people to get through, so if the list comes to a natural end, I'll just go ahead and close it down. And those of you who are waiting for your reading, if you want to add on, you can. I allow up to 3 add-ons in a row before you'll have to be added back to the list. So it's like if you want to add on to your reading, you can, and you don't have to worry about needing to get back in line. Up to 3 readings in a row. Okay, got you, Pisces.
Stick to the facts. GA is transformed dry AMD reversibly damaged your but Cybo is an FDA-approved eye infection that gives you the power to slow Cybo was proven to slow GA lesion growth over 2 years with increasing effectiveness.
Sounds good, Pisces.
It's the only treatment to slow GA in as few as 6 doses per year.
Don't take Cybo. That's your just moving in around your eye. Really keep pain and redness for a lot of allergy to it. Cybo can cause severe allergic reactions. Other serious side effects are eye infection and retinal detachments, severe inflammation of vessels in the retina, which may result in severe vision loss, wet AMD, eye inflammation, and increased eye pressure. Most common side effects are eye discomfort, bloating.
Early stage lung cancer warning in the background made your night. Oh, can you hear my TV? Oh, wow. That's funny. Are we doing Pisces, are you adding on to make it wait, what are we doing? What did you donate for? Like a yes no question add on? Oh, messages. Okay, sounds good. We'll do that. Pisces, do you want the messages from Brian as well? Got it. Okay.
From a plane. When you see it start, you realize it's something different. I was surprised because I had never seen something like that.
All right, so I feel like this would be a good exchange. I think that no matter what, Brian, it would be excited to see you. I think that, as you said, like there was interest, but never really got off the ground, I think is what you said. And I think that because of that, there's no bad blood. And I think that he would genuinely be excited or happy to see you. And he would welcome that interaction. The reason I feel this way is because of the 6 of Pentacles is here. And so that indicates a mutual understanding, a mutual excitement, essentially whatever you think you would feel yourself if you guys like ran into each other or saw each other again. Whatever you would think you would feel, that's how he would feel, because it's very much matched. I think that he is expressing interest in you still. I think that he would want to see how you're doing, maybe pick up, where things left off potentially. I'm almost getting like, would you want to meet for coffee at some point? I do think a lot has changed in Brian's life since the last time you guys spoke. Maybe even if it's been brief, I still feel like a lot of big changes have happened. So like if you guys haven't been talking for just a short amount of time, I still think like a lot of stuff's going on with him. He's showing you as the Lovers and the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel like he's saying, I understand her worth. I understand her value, basically. And I can appreciate her. The Lovers also has a little bit of a nod of physical attraction and desire for exploring a physical relationship with you as well. You'll definitely see each other at the dental office in the future. You haven't been up there in the last couple of months. Okay, so yeah, I think he's got some big changes going on, like lots of new beginnings. And like I said, he knows your value. He knows your worth. He sees you're a high caliber person. Whenever someone comes through as the Queen of Pentacles in someone's reading, especially if they don't know them very well, or like they do, but they haven't really got the ability to see the full potential of the connection, it always tells me that they feel like you are the woman to marry. You are the type of person that needs to be in a real serious relationship with someone who has real intentions for you. And even if that's not Brian, Brian sees the value in you and says, that's not a friends with benefits type of person. That's someone who would need to be in a relationship, who deserves to be in a relationship and be taken seriously. I feel like you guys would also be feeling like you're kind of at the same level of excitement to see each other. But I have two pages. I have the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So mentally, you guys are on the same page, but you guys still are a little bit different. Like the interaction that happens, it's like investment on the same level, but you guys have your own things going on. So maybe I'm picking up on the fact that the interaction would be a little distracted or a little rushed, not really feeling like you'll have the opportunity to truly like say a lot to that person, or say a lot to each other. So maybe that's why I'm picking up on the would you want to grab coffee at some point kind of vibe. All right, let's see. Messages from him. Okay, so he says, I meet with you in the 5th dimension. He says, I'm still curious about our connection. I want to know you better. Your presence in my life changed my perspective. Two messages came out together. He says, I worry we've missed our chance. Can we start over? So maybe that's kind of the message here, that he would hope to see you again. I sometimes have trouble fighting how I feel for you. And then he says, there's so much I want to say to you, and at the bottom of the deck, you make me nervous.
Don't stop taking photography without talking to your healthcare provider. The side effects are tired, no caution,
Talk to your healthcare provider today. And Caroline has a mom. She takes road tests, so she can have those one-on-one teachings. She's a full session Friday. Sure. What's up, Dick? Let's powerful copy the road test and find the answer.
You're welcome, Pisces. Thank you so much.
wild photographic and just stick to med skills. This guy would like another set. 2 for $6.99.
Have a great night. Next up, we have Emily. Emily, if you're still here, check in with me, please. I saved your question from earlier, so just confirm for me that this is still the question that you want answered. Emily Siebert, if you're here, check in with me, please. All right, Emily, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully you can check back in here and, look back at your reading after the fact if you aren't here currently. Oh, hey there. Hey, girl. All right, so I have you have a question. It's a yes, no question, but you wanted to dig a little bit further into it, so you donated for a mini reading. So your question is, should you have concern about Jason?
But these days, most people realize that black cat is in very, very rare cases, start fires, which house.
All right, Emily, should you have any concern about him?
A narrow stretch of below. Keep an eye. It's black cat. Did you see that? Watch it again in slow motion. The cat approaches a pile of rubbish in the corner. The pile suddenly bursts into flames. The cat then somehow manages to quickly slip away. But never seems to notice it. What on earth?
All right, so Emily, yeah, you should. I'm actually curious what your reason for asking is. Has there been any kind of red flags at all? I am getting a yes. Okay. He has multiple attachments. He has like multiple people that hasn't disconnected from. So this could talk about how he's not over his past relationship, or he's still in communication with his past. That causes a gray area or confusing feelings. There's also a message here of the Emperor. So we have dad energy. So I don't know if he's a dad or if he has personal conflicts with his own father, but there's something here that has to do with a father figure energy, that because I said, why should we have concern about this? So I'm getting the Emperor. You said he's on the up and up. Well, I have the Three of Cups and I have the Devil here. And that talks to me about, have you ever asked about his past? Have you talked about like, has he ever cheated on anyone before? That kind of thing. Because I'm getting like kind of scandalous energy, and maybe it's not him. Maybe there's nothing wrong with him, but he keeps surrounding himself with people that are questionable. Because remember, I said at the beginning that he has like attachments. There's people that he hasn't cut cords with that he needs to cut cords with that could pose problems on this connection. But there's something that has to do with his past. And there's also people outside of just the two of you that could pose a problem for your connection. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean it's him that's the problem, but there are issues here that will come up for you through this connection because of him, because of his connections in his past. So there could be like a parental figure that has issues with. There could be daddy issues. There could be mommy issues. There could be like healing that has not occurred from an ex. The ex could still be in the picture. Maybe his friends are a bad influence, but there is reason to have concern here about his connections. He might not have the best judgment of character when it comes to people. And even the most loyal people could still be their downfall because they're not seeing the toxicity that's in their life. So even if he's a very loyal person, he's had lifelong friends, that's a good thing, but too much of a good thing is not. It's a bad thing. So I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out is, do you know anything about his past? Do you know if he's ever cheated or been cheated on? Do you know if he's still talking to other people? Do you know what I'm saying? And I get that it's new and you guys have only been talking for like 2 weeks. So if he was talking to other people, that would still be fine. Because the devil is here, so that can talk about just basically like the devil. I always say this, people probably know this expression by heart, but it's the things that stop you from being the best version of yourself. It can be toxic people in your life. It can be bad habits, like mental health issues that you avoid and don't try to work through, addictions. It can talk about like having too much of an ego, and it also talks about abuse. It could talk about past trauma, but it's like the things that we need to work through that kind of stop us from being. He's been in sobriety for over a year. Okay, got you. Yeah, I mean that's like the double energy that I was just talking about. So there's concern. There's absolutely concern with this person. Does it mean that he is a bad person? No. I haven't said that at all. I don't think so. But I do feel like he has attachments, like I said. And I was thinking that it was other people. I was thinking it was other people in his life and influences that he has over him. But maybe his attachments is his addictions, But there's something here that's going to affect your relationship. It's almost like a third party thing that's hanging over the connection. It's never going to, as I said, it's not just about the two of you. There's something else that's going to be hanging over your relationship. And it's never going to feel like it's just the two of you in the relationship. It's always going to feel like you have a mistress, whether that's his addiction or that's a actual person, like a friend or a family member or something like that. But it's like, just keep in mind that it's going to always feel like there's something working against this connection for you. And When I say always, I don't mean that you're looking down the barrel of something bad. I just mean that, and it doesn't mean that you can't work through these things either. It just means it's something that you should be aware of going into this connection so that you can make the best decision for yourself. Do you get what I mean? Let me know if you need any, like if I said something that you were confused about, let me know if you need anything like verified or whatever cleared up for you. Yeah. And so like earlier when I was talking about his past, I said something from the past, right? Because the Six of Cups. So the cups is literally chalices, okay? The cups talk about water, and if you think of water, you think of what's in the ocean, you think of fishes. There's expressions. If his crutch is alcohol, that might also be a message there to acknowledge. It doesn't have to be. But the Six of Cups, it talks about your past like coming back, and it talks about, or like always battling the things of the past. And so I think you really have to, I think it's going to be a lot of work for him. And luckily he's a year in, but keep in mind, they say not to date anyone for your first year of sobriety usually. And so you're basically talking to him when he's fresh out of this like no dating stage. So I just want you to protect yourself. I just want you to not avoid any red flags. I don't want you to put yourself in a compromising position. Of course, it doesn't mean that it's not going to work out. Like, I'm not saying that. I just feel like I want to look out for you, and I want you to just keep these things in mind, you know? And if you're having any hesitancy, there's a reason for that, because that's your inner compass guiding you on if this is the right fit or not. Okay? He does have issues with his parents. Okay, that's what I was feeling like. Yeah, it's like the themes are here, and I can only make guesses as to what it is. So, like, if I'm like, oh, someone from the past, I go, okay, what's from the past? Childhood issues, exes, parents, friends. Like, I try to like think of all the different things that it could possibly be. Obviously, I can't change the message for you, but I can try to help connect the dots. So, I think, if he's able to kind of work through these issues, if he's able to really get to the root of these things, then I think that his journey with sobriety is going to be much more pleasant and like smooth. But I think that it's going to require him to kind of work it back a little bit. He's going to have to make sure that he continues on with these therapies and things like that, because triggers can happen, unfortunately. And if we haven't worked through the reason why we got to that place in the first place, then we can easily get back there. You're very welcome, Emily. All right, so this is the last reading. Wait, hold on. No, it's not. SB donated again. All right, SB, let me add you to the list real quick. All right, that's the list. Culture. SB, if it's okay with you, after I do culture's reading, I'm going to run to the restroom real quick because I gotta go. Okay, culture. Do you have the opportunity to work harder right now? If so, how do you seize it without burning out? Does culture have the opportunity to work harder? Does culture have the opportunity to work harder right now? Hmm. All right, so culture. I feel like you have enough power within yourself to do whatever it is that you want to do. But I feel like at some point, Spirit wants you to be able to lean on other people and not feel like it's all on you and all on your shoulders. And I think that that's ultimately the goal. As far as do you have the opportunity to work harder? You do. I have the Two of Cups and I have the Star. How do you do this is the question. Really having to structure yourself like very strictly, very severely, very seriously. Like I have the Emperor here, and the Emperor is an authority figure of routine and structure and planning and blocking out every single aspect of your day. And I know that that sounds very counterintuitive as far as not being burnout, because if you adhere to a specific structure, then that might make you feel more exhausted or more like you're not progressing, because if you feel one day, oh, I'm not up to this, then I've got to cancel, or I can't do this and I've got to push it back, that might make you feel like you failed for that day or very unsuccessful. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like a block by block, like 8 to 5 every single day. This is what I'm doing. 6 to 8. This is what I'm doing. 9 to 11. This is what I'm doing. But they want you to get like really serious about what it is your goal is, and then how do you achieve that goal. Do you remember in school, or if they taught you this, but like if you're creating a story, then you have the central idea, and then you have to create like all the ways in which you get to that point. So you're basically creating a web or a template as to the structure of the story that you're going to tell. And it's basically just like a guideline on how to complete the story, and then you use your imagination to fill in the blanks. I feel like that's what Spirit is saying, is that if you're really serious about working harder, it doesn't necessarily mean your day to day has to be blocked out, but they want you to create a plan. They want you to figure out, what is my goal? What is my desire? And I should be taking this advice, honestly, but what is it that I want for myself? What do I want my life to look like a month from now, 5 months from now, a year from now? And how do I achieve that? If I want this, and this done by the end of the month, how do I fit that into my schedule? It's basically about being prepped and prepared and planned. And it doesn't mean that you have to say, okay, Wednesday I'm doing this. No, it can just be a goal. It can be a deadline. It can be like, okay, by next week, I want to have this first task completed. So you give yourself an entire week, and somewhere during that week, you know, in the back of your mind, this needs to be done. And then you get that done intuitively when you feel that you have the capacity to do that. Because again, we want to avoid burnout. So set a plan in motion, tap into your intuition. What can I handle now? What can I not? Set a goal. Well, realistically, how long do I think I would need to take care of this thing? And then how long do I want to give myself to complete it? Making sure that you're getting adequate nourishment for yourself as well is going to be really important. Sleep is important, water is important, food is important, movement is important. And so basically, I think that they just want you to kind of structure yourself and your day a little bit better. I feel like maybe you could kind of just do what you feel you want to do. Maybe you go to work all day and you come home and you just don't feel like doing anything, so you don't do anything. But maybe if you had some kind of structure, some kind of plan or template to go by, say, what can I have about an hour. What can I do with this time? Then you'll feel more accomplished. You'll feel like you're not putting too much pressure on yourself to get something done, but you're giving yourself goals. This is unrelated to your reading, but there is an app called Trello that I really enjoy, and I really, really enjoyed it a lot when I was prepping for my wedding, because it was a list of things that I needed to get done and complete. And you can actually share that access to other people. This could be used for multiple different reasons, not just like for yourself, but it's really, really nice because you can make a list of everything that you need to do. And then if you don't get that task completed, you can just shift it over to the next day, and you can kind of structure and customize it. And that's how I work. I have to work with a level of freedom. I have to work with, how do I feel today? What's my energy at? How much do I think I can accomplish? And I can kind of set my schedule and hope for the best, but some days I can't achieve that, or some days I can achieve more than I thought that I could. And this Trello, the app, it allows for, okay, perfect. So you know about it. It allows for you to kind of maneuver and move things around. And I think this is really like what they're saying for you. And just kind of try to actively work towards those things that you can. And I think eventually, like I said, they want you to be in a place where you can lean on other people, and this isn't all on your shoulders to get done. Are you in a relationship? Are you married, or have any interest in that at all? I feel like they want you to be able to lean on a partner, lean on another person, or staff, even if you plan on owning your own business. And you're very welcome. Okay. Yeah, I think they're saying you're working towards having a partner to like share these tasks with, or take a little bit off of your plate so that you can focus a little more on what it is that you want to do and what you want to achieve. I'm glad to hear that it's helpful. Of course, I know this reading was a little bit on the vague side just because I didn't know specifically what opportunities you were looking for. But I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and close the list. You're welcome, Culture. The last person I'm going to read for is SB. Yeah, work and life in general, the advice makes sense. Perfect. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Culture. Thank you so much. All right, SB. Sorry, my voice is a little crazy right now. Babe, do you mind turning that down a little bit? I don't want to get All right, SBC said, hearing it now. Okay, so I have your questions on the donation. BOGO. All right, let's take a look. All right, this is my last person for the night, guys. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It seems to be kind of dying down a little bit, so... So the main thing is that he wants to take this slow. Like he's like, I want to do this the right way. I do not want to mess this up. It doesn't mean that he's like, I'm not going to make my intentions clear. I'm not going to let her know where my head is at. I'm not saying that. I just mean that as far as moving things along, it's like, okay, let's do this the right way. Let's do this in order, quote unquote. I think there are a lot of people who kind of do things a little bit conventionally out of order. So traditionally, there's a certain like order that you do things in life. You graduate from high school, you go to college, you might meet someone, date them for a little while, then maybe get married and maybe move in and then maybe have a kid potentially or get a dog or whatever. It's like there's kind of like a natural order of things in our society. It's a system that we all kind of go by. And I feel like he's saying, I kind of want to do that. I kind of want to go in that order, that like that way of things. There are people who bounce around. There are people who will sleep together first before they get married, and then they might have a kid, and then they move in, and then they get married, and it's all over the place. And there's no right way of doing things. But I'm saying like his mindset is being more traditional. And so with that, he's saying like, I don't want to jump into something really fast. Like, I don't want to like jump into a physical relationship without like exploring if there's an, what our emotional connection is like, without telling each other how we feel about things and kind of taking the natural quote unquote path. So yeah, I feel like he's coming in saying like, I want to do this right. I want to kind of focus on us, our conversation, our communication styles, showing effort. It almost feels like courting you, I think, is what it feels like. He would be courting you, is how he would treat you. We also have the Five of Cups. So this is like wanting to heal the connection, wanting to provide clarity, ask for forgiveness, maybe expressing how he feels, and just generally like moving forward and moving on. I really feel like he wants to like wrap up your past baggage in a nice little bow and send it on its way. I don't think he wants to like really like rehash everything that's gone on between you. I think he wants a clean slate, and he wants to tell you how he feels for you and like let that kind of develop within itself. I think he worries that if you guys backtrack, that it could potentially steer the ship in the wrong direction. And he just wants to make sure you guys are facing forward and continuing on. And with the Five of Cups in reverse, again, I said it talks about healing, it talks about forgiveness and providing clarity. And we also have the Judgment card. So that's also what that card means. It means that he's coming through with a little more self-awareness. He's had some self-evaluations. He's coming through more collected, more composed, and just overall wanting to provide maybe something a little different. I think he wants to come in feeling fresh, feeling like, you're wondering what's changed about him. I think he really wants to make sure that he's giving the right impression to you and allowing for you guys to like kind of move forward in that way. So I think treating you would just be clearing the air, courting you, making sure that you felt like you understood. Or okay, can you hear me? Okay, sorry, I got booted out. So like providing clarity, expressing the feelings, making sure you understood where his head was at. I think maybe asking for forgiveness if it's needed. Just overall making sure that he's doing things the right way and making sure that you feel like something has changed, so that you take him seriously and don't feel like this is just another repeat of history. All right, so let's take a look at how he views you. Um, okay, so I'm gonna say this, and I don't want you to think like negative. I just want you to just take it for what it is and understand what I'm trying to say. But he looks at you as someone who's had their heart broken. So he views you as someone who's like, I don't think he thinks you're a sad person, but I think that there is a sadness that he feels when he views you, as in he let you down and that you have feelings about that. Hopefully I'm expressing that correctly. I feel like he's saying like I might have hurt her. I might have put myself in a position where she can't trust me, where maybe I did break her heart or I did let her down. Sorry, hold on. A song is coming through right now. Let me look it up. If I can figure out the name of the song, I'll send it. I'd have to look it up. But anyways, and I don't want to like waste your time. But I feel like he's saying because I have made that impression on her, I want to like rewrite that story. I want to provide comfort to her and kindness, and I want her to think that this is a good idea. I want her to think that talking to me again isn't just going to put her back into the sad category. He's showing up as the King of Pentacles. So this is like, I want to show her I've matured, I've grown up, I've evolved. And the King here really does talk about someone who maybe feels like they're a little bit more in a stable place to explore the connection a little bit more. I think he wants to come across like he's got it together. And I think that when he looks at you, he's like mirroring that. So that tells me that he feels like you have it together. You've, got your shit together. Like, I don't know how else to word that. Basically, like, you take care of your life, you manage your life well, you somehow are able to do it all. And like, you're like Superwoman. And so I feel like he's like, I want to be Superman. I feel like he's saying that you've inspired him in some ways, and he feels like you're very, very powerful, and that you get what you want in the end, and you're able to achieve what it is you set your mind to and set out to do. And I feel like he might have known that in the past you might have been in a position where you were willing to give more than he was. He understands that imbalance. Again, we're going back to that Two of Pentacles. And I feel like he's saying like, she's such a generous person. She's so giving. She's just honestly, like, I feel like he views you as someone who would just like give your last dollar to someone who needed it. And I feel like he really admires that about you, really appreciates that about you. He feels like she's such a hard worker is what he's saying. And all these like pentacles here just really talk about like how you financially, you've somehow worked it out. His perspective is that you're financially put together, your career is put together, you are able to manage like your life really, really well. This is all about like earthly material things. So basically he feels like you've got it together in this realm. Okay. You have abundance in this realm. And I think that he wants to just provide a little bit more being able to express to you how he feels, in hopes that maybe you'll do the same for him. Let's see. He feels like you have masculine energy as well. So maybe he's like, she does have like a nurturing side to her that's like very compassionate and caring, and like of service, but he also feels like maybe that's an energy that you haven't really been able to explore too much, only in certain pockets of time, just because you run the show yourself, that you have to be more in the dad energy, the masculine, versus the feminine energy. He feels like you want to be married, and he knows that that's not something that you have right now with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse and the 10 of Cups. So I think that he also views you with like a sharp tongue. Like you're very, very blunt for him. Like he feels like you're the judge, the jury, and the executioner, basically. Like he feels like you are what you say goes, basically. That if this isn't going to work for you, then he has no chance. And I think he is hoping for that chance because I have the Judgment card. And that's come up a couple of times. But I feel like he's looking at you, because you're the Queen of Swords here, that you are very objective. You're not giving him much. He knows that you are a person that can show warmth, but you're not showing that to him right now. Maybe you're very currently like distant from him, just very observant and you know, just like judging things from afar rather than actually allowing for that warmth. So I think he's kind of feeling a little bit of coolness from you. Maybe you're not an ice cube, but I definitely don't think he's feeling very warm, welcoming vibes. He's kind of like, she's side-eyeing me. She's cautious. She's wondering what I'm up to. She's wondering why I'm talking to her. I can tell that it's going to take a while for her to warm up to the idea of communicating with me again. But I'm going to do my best, is what he's saying. So yeah, he's kind of looking at you, just thinking that you're kind of looking at him going, what is this? What's going on this time? So yeah, that's what I have, SB. Hopefully you enjoyed your readings tonight. And I think that's everyone. Let me go back to the beginning here and just make absolute sure. Yep, that's everyone. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. If you're still hanging out, thank you for the view time. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.